Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our Monday Night Live DJ Chat. Tonight, we have got a couple of guests from north of the border. Barry, Jordan, thanks for joining me tonight.
Thanks for having us again.
We're back. We're here. You guys are going to chat with us. We're going to talk about, now let's see, 5 tips to make that 5 o'clock shadow look awesome. No.
But that would be a good one for me.
That would be. No, gang, what we're going to be talking about tonight is 5 tips for making your performance, adding entertainment to your performances. We're going to be talking to the Sparkle guys and giving you those tips in just a couple of minutes. We'll be back in just a moment.
The PB Dark Matter Series Power Enclosures deliver best-in-class performance with custom settings for specific environments. The Dark Matter Enclosures produce crystal clear, professional audio. PB Electronics, perfection in music and audio. Quality Kids Entertainment is sought after by parents and daycare centers everywhere. Bubble parties can easily be added to your existing services as a wonderful and unique event. Mention you saw this ad and get 10% off our special offer if you sign up before April 30th. So contact Bubble Parties today before this offer gets away. DJ Event Planner will change the way you manage and run your business. Streamline all of your procedures and software into one easy-to-manage system. DJ Event Planner, the ultimate online planning tool. The LD Systems Curve 500 is the world's first truly portable array system. With 2,400 watts of peak power and a 120-degree array, the Curve 500 is the ideal solution for DJs who care about their sound and presentation. Learn how to make money while you sleep with automated email marketing for your event or business. Get access to the training for free by going to profit911.biz/DJN. Profit 911. More customers, more cash, less stress.
Here we are. We're back, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for joining us tonight. We're going to be doing this, of course, some of you are watching this on YouTube on that, and we're going to be managing that chat. We're also going to be trying to do this on it's being streamed on Facebook Live, and I'm going to try to get to that. So, yeah, you were watching that. There we go. You guys are there. So I'll get at the chats. If you have questions, please put those in the chats as we go along. Gentlemen, the job was sent to you to give us 5 tips for adding entertainment to our shows. Now, you spent some time, and you used your Sparkle Factor magic hats.
We did.
What do you got?
I'm not wearing a hat today.
You aren't. You lost it. You worked so hard. Yes, we are back. Gerald and the guys are all in the chat room. So, gentlemen, get us started out. Now, for people who are wanting to just add some more entertainment value to their shows, what's a good start? Let's take us through the 5 tips.
So 5 tips to make your performance more exciting. Add a little fun. Tip number 1 is more exciting. Team. Become a team. I know a lot of DJs perform by themselves, and it'd be neat to bring out a second DJ with you so you can actually get out from behind your DJ booth and get front and center right in front of the crowd so they can see you and you can make eye contact with them and smile and be right in the moment.
Now, is this something that you guys do as far as you try to go out as teams quite often with your shows?
For us, all of our shows are our team effort. There's always a DJ, there's a motivator. And what it does is it creates that atmosphere where you get to be not so much front and center as taking away from the party, but work in the crowd. And that's a huge point when it comes to, DJs who are working behind the console, making announcements and they can, not everybody can see them, or they sort of feel like there's a barrier between them and the crowd. But when you're out on the dance floor and you got your microphone in your hand and everybody can focus on you, it just creates a sort of an energy and excitement, and people really react well to that.
When you guys are out with a crowd like that and using the microphone and to be remote, which we'll call it for lack of a better way to describe it, do you find that people shy away from you or are drawn to that situation? For guests. Go ahead, guys. Barry, you can jump in.
I think because you're coming out to the crowd and you're interacting with them and they can actually see you, it makes it a little easier for them to want to participate and get motivated, a lot easier to want to come and participate and be a part of the fun, because that's really what it's all about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I could definitely see that. I also could see some folks. I've got some family members who would see a DJ coming out with a microphone and talking and such, and they would run away and go hide in a corner. Maybe I've trained them to do that.
Part of there is obviously a stereotype around the universe of DJs, and it's unfortunate that it's there, but the way Jordan and I do our shows and the way we interact with people, and I've seen a lot of other DJs do that too, which is incredible. We're doing it in a classy and elegant way. We're not being cheesy. And I find that it's that cheesy stereotype is what really sometimes scares people off and drives them away. But if you keep it elegant and classy and you make it about them and you involve them, it's going to win every single time.
And of course, go ahead, Jordan.
Since it's not the norm in the general DJ world of having that motivator out on the dance floor, working the crowd, being able to do that and being able to do it successfully gives you that advantage where guests are like, wait a second, this isn't like every other event we've been to or every other wedding or corporate event. All of a sudden, the shift goes from the music, which is still, of course, very important, but it shifts to the personality to it. And when people can see you loving what you're doing, and that's another point which we'll talk about soon, but when they focus on you, and if you're in it and you just are having the time of your life, then immediately that energy gets sent to them, and then they want to be involved, and they're going to come up to the dance floor, and they're going to do whatever you tell them to do. And when that happens, then you're on the road for a very successful evening. Good point.
Good one. Okay, number 2, guys.
So number 2, this comes down to the music and production of your show. And when I say that, I'm talking about, say, for example, you're at a corporate event and they're doing awards, because 99% of the events I've been to for corporates, there's always giveaway, door prize, whatever. If you play music when the grand prize is announced, for example, the Price is Right theme, little things like that, or when the president's coming up to speak and you play a song for his entrance, or anything like that, where you can add little bits of music to just keep away from the the dead air, we find that automatically elevates your show, because you can watch the crowd and all of a sudden they're into what's going on, and you're building that connection with the crowd, which is, again, another point we'll talk about soon. But small little things, even when you're making announcements, we always use beats, just simple beats that were produced for us behind us, so we're not talking over nothing, and it creates a certain energy level that takes it from the bottom and brings it up, and it just keeps people engaged, because what you're saying is important. But if they just feel like it's mundane talk, then they're going to tune out, and guess what? Once you lose that, then it's very hard to get them back in.
Now, Barry, when he's talking about the music and such, the music bed behind you, do you have different music beds with you for different types of announcements? More of a somber announcement would get this, more of an upbeat announcement would get something more energetic. How would you guys do that?
Absolutely. Over the years, we've created a category in our music system, which has just that, music beds. Lots of instrumentals. So we've taken some popular songs and we've mixed down instrumental beds. So that way, when you're talking, or if a CEO is talking, or somebody's making announcements, you're not fighting with the words of the song, although you could have a popular song playing in the background. One other thing that really takes this to a whole new level is the fact that music creates energy and atmosphere, and it really takes the evening from, or simple announcements, from being kind of dry sometimes to making them fun and exciting, and to a whole new level. And you also can use the music to create different moods. We were at a dance competition over the weekend, and I found this really fascinating. There was a music bed playing during all of the announcements and all of the award announcements. And there was this one award that was a memorial. And it was interesting because when they started talking about the memorial, the music went right out and it was quiet.
Mm-hmm.
You just felt the mood change. And it created that moment. And as soon as it was finished, the music slowly came back on and the energy changed, and bang, we were back on to more awards. So the music really helps create that energy and atmosphere for you to use your personality and just take the event to a whole new level.
Yeah. Yeah, but I think you make a good. You're talking about during that that was part that you want to spotlight. That's more of a somber moment. A good point would be not to be putting the uncha 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 as someone announces the passing of the company founders.
Correct.
Yeah, because as
you don't want
DJs
that.
we'll do that. We're just bad that way. Cool, good, two good tips here. We got a question from. I'm going to put the question, Ian. I'm going to take your question here, and we're going to copy it, and we'll address the questions at the end, guys. I'm going to put that in the chat, so I'll just keep them running those. So we'll get that at the end, Ian. So don't think we're ignoring you. Tip 3, guys. Got 2 good ones. What do you got next?
Tip number 3, and this is very important: have fun. Not the guests having fun, because they will, but you have to have fun too, because if you're having fun and you're using your personality to create excitement, it's going to be infectious, and everyone else is just going to people will feed off of you, and they'll see that you're having a good time, and they'll be having fun as well. I read posts sometimes on Facebook where a DJ will say, I played a party last night, it wasn't that great. Mm-hmm. And I always think about that, was the party not that great? And they'll say, well, no one danced. And that's great. Sometimes you have a crowd that doesn't dance, but we're still there to create an atmosphere for people. So they might be sitting on their butts all night having a drink, mm-hmm. but if they're tapping their glasses or tapping their toes or singing along to the words, or you're doing something that is attracting them, they'll absolutely love it. And I'll give you a great example. I have 2 staff that are with me, part of the team when we perform, and we have everything from Guitar Hero guitars to microphones and all kinds of fun stuff. And we were playing a Shania Twain song. Don't ask me why. Man, I feel like a woman. And I was playing one of the guitars. My partner was playing one of the guitars. And we had one of our girls singing the words to Man, I Feel Like a Woman. And they were applauding after. They thought it was part of the show. And we were just having fun waiting for the formalities to finish so we could get the party started. But the party was already going because people saw us having fun. So you have to have fun yourself, because that's what's going to give you the energy to take the party to a whole new level.
And it's important to know, especially for weddings, and I know there's a lot of wedding DJs out there that, and we all knock on wood on this one, but the fact that it really is a once in a lifetime opportunity. And especially when we do bar mitzvahs, you can't redo your bar mitzvah, your bat mitzvah. So with that mindset and you giving it 110% each and every time, that will create what you want on the dance floor. And in the end, your clients and the guests will be like, what an amazing, memorable night. And they're going to walk away and have those memories with them. And that's really all of our jobs, is to go out there and just entertain the crowd and make it memorable for them.
For sure. Good stuff. And we've got people commenting and talking and chatting right along with you guys as you're going along here. So, yeah, you guys keep questions, put them into the chat areas. I'm watching both of them right now. So, yeah, I'm not following this part of the screen as much as I'm following this part of the screen.
It's got lots of screens.
And they are. And people are busy.
You're doing awesome, though, John.
People are
having fun, though?
Am I having fun? It is kind of fun to be bouncing back and forth and such, but it's a little more difficult to try to listen and such to be able to do follow-up questions, which is nice that Jordan came off that one because I was lost.
I saw that. I was with you.
Yeah, I just I saw something and I was reading it and I got a little too intent here, and then I wasn't following what Barry was saying quite enough because I heard the early part and then I lost for a little. So Jordan saved the day.
We all do.
Yeah,
no, we love them. Okay, point number 4. We ready for point? Point 4 is a really important one.
Wait a second. When were we going to get to?
That
was 4.5.
That's 4.5. Exactly. We're talking about all the points that you do at the show because that's where you're being, making the show happen. But one important thing is to really know the guests who are coming to your event. So as we know, there's wedding DJs and corporate DJs. So you have to do a little, research with one. We'll start with weddings. So you'd start with your wedding client and find out, for example, who's coming to the wedding? What's the average age? Where are the people from? So once you get a bunch of tidbits of information, when you're at the show, you can use that to really work the crowd and make sure that you try to please as many people as possible. So if the average age is, 45 to 60, then when you're, getting your music ready, all of a sudden you're going to really heavily, rely on playing that type of music to at least definitely start off the night. So those guests will be super happy. They'll feel that they were taken care of, and they're going to be on the dance floor. And once they're dancing, then everybody can join them. Whereas if you're doing a corporate event, the beauty about that is that find out about the company. We do, for example, Saputo, which is a big milk producer here. It's across Canada. But we always ask questions to them, who's going to be at the event, news, and just information. So when we're out there and we're entertaining them, we can use that knowledge and really make them customize this event specifically for them. They have 5 different plants that come to this one event. Well, rather than saying, hey, where's everybody from? When you can say, hey, who's from Burnaby or who's from the island, all of a sudden you've built that connection with them. They've realized that you've gone above and beyond just being a DJ, and they just appreciate that a lot.
For sure. And you just mentioned 2 different activities for call outs. One of them I'm going to call it is the novice DJ move, which would be the, hey, where y'all from? And one of them that is more of the professional that has had years of experience and knows what the heck they're doing. Much more effective. Good stuff. Barry, did you have something you wanted to add to that?
Yeah, I just wanted to say, when you're doing clients for 5, 6, 7, 10 years plus, obviously you get to know a lot of the employees, you get to know a lot of the team. So you're able to kibitz around with them a little bit more and have some fun, as opposed to a newer client. But what's really great about that, knowing your guests, and whether it's a first-time client or a client you've been doing for over 10 years, which, Jordan and I, and I'm sure a lot of DJs have many, many long years of clients. But it's really, taking something simple. Here's a fun interactive tip we do. We do a part of the night where we call it Dance Mix Through the Decades. And, as Jordan mentioned, when you're doing a show for maybe a 50-plus crowd, Dance Mix Through the Decades is really simple. You play a song from the 50s, the 60s, you come right up to today.
Yeah.
If you're playing a wedding or an event where it's a younger group, you can still do the dance mix, but you just change the songs that you use. And knowing the crowd that you're working with, if there's anniversaries or if there's birthdays or celebrations or milestones, it helps you really tweak that and tune it so it's specific for the party. And the client, because you've done it so smoothly and effortlessly, the client thinks, wow, that's great. How did he know that we like that kind of music? And it just works.
Hang on a second, guys. Yeah, I got another question here that popped up. So let's actually, before we do number 5, let's field a couple of these questions.
Sure.
That way, and then we'll come back and we'll catch 5 here as we get closer to the end. The first question is, somebody's asking for a wedding DJ. What's a good book to get to learn how to motivate and work a dance floor? There's books out there, but also what you guys do with the Sparkle Factor. I mean, this fits right into your wheelhouse. Go ahead. Let's talk a little bit about the Sparkle Factor and how that would help.
Are you looking for a specific?
They were looking for a book or a resource to help to learn how to motivate people on the dance floor, how to engage people on the dance floor is the way I would interpret it.
I'll be really honest with you. A lot of the books that I read are they're more personal development and motivational, and that's really where I learned how to develop my skills and interact with people. You can literally take any kind of contest or concept or idea and turn it into something really fun and engaging for the crowd and the audience and your guests at a wedding. As far as specific books, there isn't any one particular that I could recommend off the top of my head. I know there are quite a few out there, and we've been exploring, looking at them. We're also in the process of writing our own book,
right?
Released really soon. That will help a lot of DJs with that. I know that didn't answer your question completely, but I hope that helped a little bit.
Well, and we were talking before we went on air that about that book you guys are writing, and it's almost like he's looking for that book that you guys are talking about writing. And I think after Mobile Beat, there's in these conversations people are having that there's a need in the industry for that to just help people get a start in that area.
It sounds like it. And if anyone wants to contact Jordan and myself, afterwards. I mean, we'd love to chat with you afterwards. You send us an email or get in contact with us. John will put up the information, and
Yep.
we'd love to work with you guys.
Yeah, I've got the link for their website down in the description. You guys can go down and check that, click on that and check that. But you can't do it right now because we're live.
And just a quick note on about the book that we are writing. After reading other books and seeing seminars and webinars and all of that stuff, one thing that we found that sort of lacked out there was not the ideas. It was more of how to do those ideas and the execution.
Mm-hmm.
And that's sort of where we're going to sort of position ourselves and give that type of information, where this is exactly how you do it and to show you as well. And not only just for interactive dances and things like that, but also in the whole, icebreaker world. We know that there's obviously professionals out there who offer that information, and we've obviously looked at that. But one thing that we want to really put out there is that we want to take what's going in today's world and what games are available there and bring it back to what your guests can relate to now. So if they're watching TV shows like, America Hollywood, I think it's called
Hollywood Game Nights.
Hollywood Game Night. A lot of people watch that show. The ratings obviously are great. There's a lot of those games that you can actually use at your events and really just have that connection with current rather than what's been done in the past, what they've seen in the past. So that's going to be a big thing for us, and we're really looking forward to launching that. So we can just sort of up the game for everybody and just say, you know what, it's great what was available, but now there is something new, because like our clients always look for, they are looking for something new. You
Mm-hmm.
always have to be on your toes and be one step ahead of the game, and that's where both Barry and I really do excel, because we have that mentality to look for that.
For sure. One area that I was waiting for someone to say, oh, you can find this kind of information on chat boards and on the internet and such. And that's where we grew up. A lot of us, learning from the chat boards. There's a difference between me learning from a chat board and reading that, okay, Jordan goes and writes a paragraph about how to do an activity. And then you and I talking about that activity, because now you're going to not only be able to share what you did in that paragraph, but now you're going to be able to tell me the reason behind, or the setup, or the little thought processes and these little things that we don't think about, but yet we can talk about face to face in those situations. And I think that's when a lot of people are like, oh, you know what, I'm just going to try to read and find it on the internet. It doesn't work that way, because you can do it, and then you can do it well. And that to do it well is the part that a lot of us miss, because we aren't talking to the right people and engaging the right people. So
I was going to say, one of the DJs that Jordan and I are mentoring and we've been working with, really, really interesting. But you're absolutely right, John. It's the one-on-one, face-to-face, because there's so many components of an interactive game, and the possibilities are limitless. But they include everything from music cues, video cues, the way you execute it, props, everything you need to make it bigger and larger than life. So the guest gets the experience that they could be on a TV show right now, or, it's larger than life. And that's what it's all about. And sorry, Jordan, I interrupted you. You were going to say something.
Oh, no. I was just going to mention it's about the live factor, that we work with you to from start to finish, rather than making it a recipe and just saying following steps 1 through 9. But unfortunately, if you don't know how to follow 1 through 9, it's gonna fall flat, and then you're gonna lose that confidence that you need to be in front of a crowd. So, yeah.
Cool. Guys, let's jump on to the last tip number 5.
Tip number 5, this one's a big one, and it's one of my favorites. Involve your guests. Make a connection with them and make them feel like they are involved in what's going on in the celebration.
That's so important.
It is very important. And there's so many different ways of interacting with guests and getting them to be involved. And Jordan and I have talked about this many times now. For example, at a wedding, when you do the grand entrance and you do an amazing introduction of the wedding party, and some people do this after dinner, some people do it before. I like to do the love story of the bride and groom, how they met, fell in love, kind of connect the dots as to how we got here today, and go into the first dance. What's great about doing something like that before And there is no right way or wrong way of doing it. It's whatever way that works for you. But guests get an opportunity to see you in action right at the top. When you do that first introduction to get their attention and you do the introductions, they're already watching you and they're getting a feel of who you are and what you're all about. So during the dinner portion, when you go around and interact with them during dinner, you go to their tables and introduce yourself again and talk to them. They already have a really good sense of who you are and your personality, and they feel a lot more comfortable than a stranger coming up saying, "Hi, I'm Barry. I'm your master of ceremonies for the night. How can I help you?" sort of thing.
For sure, for sure. Jordan, when it comes to breaking the ice with the guests and such, how do you like to kind of break that ice with the guests?
Well, Barry stole my thunder there, but it's that initial table talk. You don't really, you can socialize with guests. For example, if it's a wedding during cocktail hour, they don't really know who you are because, depending on what you wear, of course, which clothing is another whole discussion that I think maybe it could be your next option. Next discussion, what DJs wear and what they don't. But we find that when everyone's sitting down waiting for their meal and having conversations, all of a sudden this great personality comes to their table and they're like, "Who are you?" And it's always, we start off with like, "Excuse me, hopefully I'm not interrupting your conversation." And then say, "Listen, I'm Jordan. I'm going to be your motivator or your DJ for the evening. We're here for you. We want to make your night memorable, amazing. Couple of questions for you. Do you have any song requests? Is the music that we're playing, is it too loud so you can enjoy your conversations?" It's just that first impression. And when they see you, and rather than seeing that first impression when the dancing starts, when some of them might have already lost interest in what's going on, you sort of just make them part of your family, and they appreciate that. And when you want them to do something, they're going to do it because they know that you spent the time with them. So just give them a little bit of FaceTime and say, "You know what, you're important to me." And getting those guests to feel important, just like the bride and groom, is essential in a very successful evening.
Yeah.
And to add to that too, so many times we talk about the bride and groom in a case of a wedding. They are the most important people in the room, and they truly are. But it's us as entertainers and DJs and personalities that really create that environment for them to be the stars and to be the celebrities of the night, if you will. And part of that also, we believe, includes having the guests feel like they're a part of that as well. Been to too many weddings where, I've seen guests in the background just bored out of their minds, can't wait for the speeches to be over so they could get another drink at the bar, go out for a smoke.
Yep.
And, we're changing that. And there's lots of great concepts out there that are changing that and changing the industry. And, Jordan and I are so happy to be a part of that. And I know we've got some really great concepts too that definitely can contribute to that. And I think that's a great thing. I really do. I also wanted to make a comment that, it was funny. My daughter asked me this before we came on, and she said, what if there's a DJ that doesn't want to come out from behind their DJ booth and do all of these things? And I thought that was a great question, considering she's 12 years old. And, I just would like to say, if you've never done that before, if you're comfortable, maybe the DJ booth is your crutch and you just feel safe there. And I think that's great. We all have crutches. It's baby steps. Don't try and do too much too quickly. It could be just as simple as coming around the front, standing right in the middle of the dance floor and wishing someone a happy birthday, or announcing a special song and inviting everyone up to the dance floor. And just really, really simple to get comfortable and just make eye contact with the guests and smile, and the rest will just come naturally.
Yeah, it definitely does. Definitely does. Guys, we are just about out of time. One more time, if people would like to get in touch with you, what's the best way to get a hold of you?
You can email us at our names respectively, Barry and or Jordan, Barry at thesparklefactor.ca, and all of our contact information is on there as well. Or you can email Jordan at thesparklefactor.ca. And both of us would, we'd love an opportunity to chat with you and help take your entertainment experience to the next level. I think that'd be great.
Yeah, that sounds great. Jordan, in our last few seconds here, do you have some thoughts for our viewers? I just put him on the spot.
I could do, you know what? Just be involved in your event. Remember that it's a one-off, and you can make it fantastic for everybody who's there, and enjoy, love what you do, show the passion, and people will see that, and you'll just get more business from it. It is a recipe for success, and when people see you smile and love it, they're going to love what you do.
Good stuff, guys.
Above all, have fun. That's what it's all about.
That's what we do. That's what we should be doing. So, guys, thank you very much. We're going to have a little break here. Joe's checking in, and we'll catch you guys at another time. Thanks, guys.
Thanks so much. Appreciate it.
DJ Event Planner will change the way you manage and run your business. Streamline all of your procedures and software into one easy-to-manage system. DJ Event Planner, the ultimate online planning tool. The LD Systems Curve 500 is the world's first truly portable array system. With 2,400 watts of peak power and a 120-degree array, the Curve 500 is the ideal solution for DJs who care about their sound and presentation. Quality Kids Entertainment is sought after by parents and daycare centers everywhere. Bubble parties can easily be added to your existing services as a wonderful and unique event. Mention you saw this ad and get 10% off our special offer if you sign up before April 30th. So contact Bubble Parties today before this offer gets away. The PV Dark Manor Series power enclosures deliver best-in-class performance with custom settings for specific environments. The Dark Matter enclosures produce crystal clear, professional audio. PV Electronics, perfection in music and audio. Learn how to make money while you sleep with automated email marketing for your event or business. Get access to the training for free by going to profit911.biz/DJN. Profit 911. More customers, more cash, less stress.
Here we are. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. That was our sponsors who are sponsoring our shows here in April. I think I've got to get the links down below in the description, but please show the sponsors some love, because without them, this wouldn't be happening. And without the lovely and talented Joe Bunn, this wouldn't be happening. Joe, good evening.
What's up, John?
Hey, we're just broadcasting here. We've got a nice group of people in the YouTube chat. We've got in a Facebook chat. We've got a lot of people in there watching the show. So yeah, we're having a great evening tonight.
Awesome.
And we're here to talk about some sales and marketing tips for those who are wanting to get and improve that area, but yet not break the bank.
I gotcha.
And as the guy who just recently released a DVD talking about that, I figured you were the man to talk about this.
I do. That is true. I did finally put all of my thoughts on DVD and get that out to a lot of you guys already. Probably, well into the almost 150, 200 copies sold, and every couple of days I get 2 or 3 more orders, literally from all over the United States and the world. I've sent them to Canada, I've sent them to the UK, I've sent to Australia, New Zealand. So they've those are probably not even reached the hands of the owners yet. Yeah.
Well, let's spoil it all. Let's tell them how it ends.
Oh, wait. I'll give them some tidbits. I'll give them some nuggets from it tonight for sure. No problem.
For those of you who are interested to check that out, there's a link down in the description below in the YouTube video. It's not on the Facebook, unfortunately. Sorry about that. But it's on the YouTube video. You can go to discjockeynews.com/live. That will take you to the video, YouTube video. And then you guys can check that link out and such about that. So cool. So tips for getting into that world. What do you have for us to start us off with, Joe?
Yeah, no problem. So on the video, I kind of broke it down into several different sections, and one being traditional marketing, the other being digital marketing or new age marketing, if you will. Got into social media and even a couple of other things. So I just, for the point of our conversation tonight, I did want to touch on a few of these things. When you and I spoke earlier, you were saying, maybe make a list or talk a little bit about some things that you can do without breaking the bank versus, like our website. A custom website is going to cost several thousands of dollars.
For sure.
Even your featured and spotlight listings on things like the Knot and Wedding Wire. I mean, that's going to hit you over the head monthly. So I listen, love them. I do them, but I'm just saying, And even we know the bridal shows, to have a 10 by 20 booth or a 10 by 10 booth at these things once a quarter. I mean, here it's probably $800 to $1,500 each time. I mean,
Yeah.
then you got to build something. And so I wanted to touch on things that you can do to not, like you said, break the bank or not hurt your wallet so hard or so much. And I think one of the things that's most often overlooked and is for us is the e-newsletter. So that would be my number one tip is to send out an e-newsletter. And for us, we try and do it on the first of every month. We've gotten pretty consistent and pretty good about doing that. We write it in WordPress and then we send it using MailChimp.
Okay.
So look into MailChimp.com. You can get some really, in fact, I think it's free up until you get to a certain number of users or a certain number of people you're sending it to.
Right.
You can even design it within MailChimp, so you don't even have to have somebody professionally design it. You're able to match. I'm big on branding and consistency of branding. So if your logo is like mine and it's yellow and black, then you can make the newsletter look yellow and black and lay photos in it, lay your logo in it, and really do a nice professional e-newsletter every month for not a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
With us, it goes to about 4 or 5 different groups. So, of course, we send it to all my guys. We send it to a huge, probably 400 or 500 different vendors that we've worked with. So this is everybody from wedding planners to caterers to vendors, venues. Anybody basically we've come across, I usually try and get my guys to collect cards from these people.
Right.
And then I add them to that list.
Mm-hmm.
It also goes to past and future clients. And then it also goes to a segment of DJs that have told me, hey, we'd like to be on your, we just like to see what you do every month. And I'm more than happy to share that with you guys and to send it to you. And then, and that's pretty much it. I mean, and now also we have gotten kind of out of the bridal show business. The return on investment wasn't there for us. And we became, out of 12 DJs in these bridal shows, we would always be the most expensive. And I just felt like our stuff was getting tossed. We weren't there to negotiate and be, pounded on and to match prices. We were there to get top dollar and be the best. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't that kind of party anymore. But when we did do them, we would get a lead list from those. And of course that group would also get the e-newsletter. Yeah. So those are the groups that got it.
Nice.
So I highly recommend it. Just touching real quick on coming from I say I'm a non-writer, yet I write for your magazine. But you and I know the secret to that. Don't tell me. I do write the article. That's not the secret. I do write the article. But coming from somebody that, even like tonight, so tonight being Monday is the night that I try and write the blog from this past weekend, just so it's still fresh in my memory and I can get it up online and pull a few pictures off my phone. But coming from somebody that's not doesn't come from a writing background or an English major or anything like that, it's nice to have like a format or a template. So we always start the email with just a 1-paragraph letter from me. The second paragraph is usually the DJ of the month from the previous month, that got the best reviews or got the most accolades. Mm-hmm. And then the third and fourth paragraphs are usually something that we're working on. Like it may be a new video and we'll kind of give a behind the scenes teaser. It may be if we do some kind of a private showcase or a bridal show where people can come see us. But that's about it. I mean, the attention span of most people is very short. We keep it, 4 paragraphs, maybe 5 if we've got a lot of information to push out. And that's about it. I think you keep it short and sweet. You want people to read it. And that's the beauty of MailChimp as well. It actually lets you see who opened it, who read it. If you put links in it, who clicked through. It's a really nice program.
Yeah, for sure. Nice.
All right.
So that was number 1.
That's number 1. Okay. So also, so that's kind of more in the digital marketing realm. I would take this other one to be more analog, more old school, but it still works for us. There's a huge benefit still to direct mail. And I know it's old school, but think about it, and we use it in a few different ways. One, we send out just a simple 4x6 postcard sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And that 4x6 postcard, I usually order them from somewhere like clubflyers.com.
Okay.
I found that they're cheap, they're quick turnaround, the shipping doesn't cost a lot. I usually get my graphics person that I'm always happy to recommend to people. She's local. She's a free, kind of free agent. She doesn't have, this corporate job that where she has to come home and work on my stuff. She just literally works for different DJs and different people around town doing graphics.
Right.
So she designed something for me, 4x6 postcard. I'll usually order 500 to 1,000, depending on who I'm sending them to. And these would be for things like, again, maybe if we had done a bridal show and I wanted to follow up with a mailing, and maybe on that postcard we offered, I don't know, $50 off of dance floor lighting, or $50 off up lighting, or something like that. So it could be almost like a coupon or a coupon mailing. But we also use them for, like we did a Black Friday sale this year. We used them for that. We also use those 4x6 postcards instead of doing like really expensive Christmas cards to send out to all our favorite vendors. We use those cards.
Sure.
And I'll be honest with you, it's I think it's kind of a lost art or lost form of communication for you to actually go to the mailbox and get a piece of mail these days, unless it's a bill.
It's a bill. Yep. That's about the extent of it.
Mm-hmm. So I really like that. And to be honest with you, you've got a lot of different options now. We have a direct mail house right around the corner from my office that will literally, if I take a list and I compile a list of maybe leads that I haven't booked and I want to send a mailing to them, all I do is send them the Excel file and make sure that, once I get the design right, that I leave the proper size square rectangle that they want.
Yep.
I put their bulk mail permit number right up in the upper right corner. So it usually says something like North Carolina bulk mail permit 347 or something like that.
Yep.
And then once it gets to a certain number, they can send them out for cheaper than you can. So look into a bulk mail house. And one other kind of tip I'll just touch briefly on in terms of direct mail is also using mail, the U.S. mail, to send out birthday cards. I don't remember the last time, other than from my mother, I got an actual in the mail birthday card. Now, thousands of people will get on my Facebook wall and tell me, happy birthday, happy birthday. But for me to go out, walk to the mailbox and take out a birthday card is pretty rare.
It is.
And I still try and do it.
Mm-hmm.
I've got a lot of vendors on there. I have a lot of my family on there, a lot of my friends, all my DJs. I still feel like there's value in sending out a birthday card. And it's not expensive marketing.
No, not a bit. But it is a rarity. You just don't see it.
It's right. You don't see it a lot. All right, so that would be my number 2.
Yeah, number 2. What do you got for
the next one? I would say would be I more came up with it just kind of thinking about what I wanted to talk with you tonight about, John. Not so much talked about in the DVD, but I just wrote down pinging leads. And basically what I mean by that is just following up with leads that have come in through whatever portal you use. So if you use eWebmin or Gig Builder, we obviously have been using for the last year and a half DJ Event Planner. And we do a good job of once they come in, through our contact page, which you're welcome to see at bunnDJCompany.com. And now that we have 3 different offices, each office gets their own leads, and they kind of do with them as they see fit. But the ones that come to the Raleigh office come to me, and I respond to them. And then as it kind of goes through the sales process of me sending them pricing and going back and forth, I can change their status from hot lead to active lead to, I sent the lead to the DJ or however.
Right.
But after a month of kind of, there's a lot of automation in there with maybe 2 or 3 emails going out to them over a 30, 40 day span and getting nothing, then it automatically switches to a not booked status. And the beauty of the DJ Event Planner is that I can actually export all of those not booked leads because they're still a lead. And quite frankly, they're still going to book a DJ, and maybe it wasn't you, or maybe your price scared them off or something like that.
Right.
But I've often done these direct mail pieces, or even put them in our, made sure they're getting the e-newsletter, or there's other ways to market to these people that are in this never booked status to try and kind of resurrect them. And we have in the past. Mm-hmm. You can even, once you export that list, and there's, different factors you can export. So I would probably export their first and last name, their email address, and then most importantly, probably their wedding date.
Right.
And you can actually sit there and sort it by date and go, okay, wait a minute. I'm seeing a lot of Fridays and Sundays here. Well, we're kind of booked all of the Saturdays. What if we pinged all these people and asked them, hey, I'm sorry, we didn't notice that you were getting married on a Friday or a Sunday. We actually offer $250 off on those days. Mm-hmm. Would that interest you any better? Would you like to come in and sit with one of our DJs and sit through a consultation? And we've rallied up people like that. Yeah. I mean, what was thought to be a dead lead, again, they didn't contact you for their health. They contacted you because they're having a party and they need you just kind of probably sticker shocked them right off the bat. And we're just as guilty as the next person.
Oh, for sure.
But there's a way to rally those leads, I think.
I would agree. We've actually done a similar thing with our DJ event planner, especially when you get the late summer, you're getting a lot of sniffing around for 2000 next year events. Yep. And you get into October and you're like, wow, whatever, gosh, from August to September, every day there were 3 or 4 inquiries. What's going on? Yep. Boy, you start following up with in September and October. It really makes a huge, huge difference, because you'll find a lot of people are like, hey, thanks for getting in touch with us. We were excited and then we kind of drifted off, but boy, we need to get this book. Can we set up an appointment?
Right.
Why, sure. Good tip. Very good tip.
And I think it's easy to do. Again, you don't have to break the bank to rally up those leads, whether you send a card, or it could be a letter in an envelope, or it could be it could be a mass email.
Yeah, it really could.
When you mass email, by the way, people, just real quickly on that, if you mass email a group of people, send it to yourself and then blind carbon copy the group. Okay, that way that everybody can't see.
That's a good point.
I get stuck in these emails sometimes, and I'm like, man. I'll pick up all kinds of email addresses. I'm like, wait, I see a CEO or two in this list. Like, I need his.
Yep.
All right. So that's 3 things. And without being, Captain Obvious here, I would say your number 4 can be social media. And again, John could keep me on here for a 12-hour run, and I could talk about it in every different avenue and channel and variety, and what I post and what I don't post. But the reality of it is that your clients, that demographic that you really want to have, especially for weddings, are heavily involved in social media. And again, I sit here and directly monetize what we post on or directly trace money from Instagram posts that we made this past weekend. No, but I know that they're getting likes, and I know that they're getting seen. Of course, in our profile, we usually have the link back to our website, unless we're promoting something differently, like a Prince mix or something like that.
Right.
But
which was pretty awesome, by the way.
It was. Randy killed that mix.
Yeah, you guys, if you didn't get a chance to hear that, Joe, we'll have to find that link and put it in the description, because he did an awesome job. He's done some good mixes, but that was kind of one of the that was the pinnacle. Yeah, that was sweet.
And so it's just important. And again, I touched on this briefly in the video, and even now, I just feel like we get the most traction right now off of Instagram. Mm-hmm. I'm a newbie myself to Snapchat. I mean, I really ironically got into it heavily in Las Vegas at the Mobile Beach show. I went to Hakkasan. I went to see Calvin Harris, and I was standing up on this kind of back of I don't remember, like a back of a bar, what do you call them? A booth, they had a platform on the back. And I looked around when he came out, mm-hmm. and I promise you that not one person had the camera app open. Every single one of them was was on Snapchat. I happened to look around and I was like, oh man, I'm the old guy in the room. Like I've got to get with the program. And I was the old guy in the room, but I needed to open my eyes to that generation, which is, again, I love the 25 to 35-year-old brides. That's my clientele. That's my ideal person.
For sure. Yeah, you mentioned Instagram, and I was just checking because we use Instagram, but not as heavily as we probably should. And one of the things I post quite a bit is when a new album comes in, because I've been buying vinyl.
Yeah.
So I've been posting that, and some of those go crazy. The likes and the heart, it's interesting how the world has changed and interaction has changed.
There's no doubt about it, man. It's just a part of business now. And again, it's not expensive marketing. It's a little bit of a time suck. Yeah. But I give some good tips about what to post and what not to post in the DVD. Again, it's at djjoebunn.com, which is my personal site, versus the company site is bunnDJcompany.com. So djjoebunn.com if you want to see a little bit more about it. But anyway, so and again, I can't stress enough. I think one of the things that I said in Las Vegas was, especially for people that were overwhelmed, if you will, which it's easy to get overwhelmed in the social media world, especially if you're kind of starting from new, especially if you're older, myself included. I mean, I'm 44, is to find one and be really good at it, to start with. I try and kind of space my time between Instagram and Snapchat and Facebook. Like Mike Walter is like the master of Facebook. I mean, he gets major interaction, good and bad.
Yeah. Wait a second. I would say his posts are good and bad. Some of them are not so family friendly, and
but he's great at that. You know what I mean? So it just depends. Pick one and be really good at it, and then kind of go from there. And I think you'll find that once you start getting some followers and getting interaction, you'll actually start to like it. If nothing else, I've used my personal Instagram, just Joe Bunn, as a diary or a keepsake of photos of really my life and my family and my gigs and things like that. So, I know that at any given time, or Facebook, I know that at any given time I can scroll back and look at pictures of my kids for the last 8 to 10 years as they grow up. I can look back at, concerts I went to and posted little clips from. I almost use it as like a digital diary. Or really that's how I started, getting into it, and then just eventually created business accounts as well. So anyway, that's my 2 cents on social.
Cool. Good stuff. Let's see. We are up to number 5.
I was about to say, you want me to hit one more for you?
Yeah, we've got one more. And I think our times are almost perfect because I didn't want to.
Right, I got one more in the cannon, and I will say it's exactly what you're watching right now. It's video. I mean, if you go to in fact, I was just talking to KC, who lives in Chicago, and he's been out in California at this social media, social examiners, something.
Yep. Social media examiner. Yep.
Basically convention, social media convention, Gary Vee and all these guys that you see all over the different channels were out there. And he basically told me, he said, Joe, everybody's preaching video. Like everybody you saw speak, video is the future, video is the way to market. And I have to agree. It's not difficult to produce your own videos anymore. If you have a good camera, decent lighting, and a good microphone, I will say that's an important part of it, and a tripod, you can make excellent videos. And John does a great job of posting them. He makes them. People that write for the magazine make them. Brian Redd has literally made a career off these videos.
Very much so.
Posting reviews, posting information. It's a teaching platform. It is a bragging platform. It's everything. We get very good response from the videos that just literally are myself and Randy, who's kind of my right-hand man, sitting in front of a wall in my office and riffing on anything from, the top dance songs of the 90s to, the top 10 tips when you're hiring a DJ, or the top 10 unique processionals or the top 10 unique recessionals. And a lot of that stuff is just, literally just kind of a script that we'll print with a big font, stick it to the tripod, and kind of just go back and forth and let each other do little parts, and jokes come out of it. And it's just fun. And, and we've gotten anywhere from, some of them get 1,000 views, some of them get 10,000 views, depending on the subject matter.
Very much so.
But it's good traction for us. It's good marketing, and it doesn't cost a lot. Even to get a basic camera, you can go to Costco and get everything you need for less than $500.
And even what's that?
Wouldn't you say that? Less than $500?
Oh, for sure. I mean, even just to start out, I mean, these things are so good now. But you made a great point. Is I think my investment would be, okay, I've got a good quality phone. I'd probably go and invest in a lapel mic that plugged into it, then that tripod. You mentioned the tripod as one of your top things. And I think there's so many who don't, yes, there's times where I'm walking around and doing a trade show that you're going to have. But if you and I are talking here, and if that video is going like this all the time, and it's, as I'm trying to hold it, and I've done a couple of those because I've wanted that effect, but it's not, especially if we're talking to DJs and we're giving educational content to DJs, there's times where you guys will overlook a lot of the flaws. If I've got a client and I'm telling her about making a suggestion on how DJ lighting will help enhance her introductions, she's not going to want to watch me bouncing around and doing all these things.
It makes me car sick when I get this. It's the Blair Witch effect.
It really does. It really is evil and bad. Good stuff, Joe. Good stuff. If people want to give us a little elevator talk of what the DVD is that you just came out with.
Yeah, for sure. So again, it's at djjoebunn.com. You can already see there's probably 4 or 5 testimonials there from DJs across the country. And again, I feel like I'm international now. I'm global now that I've shipped them to the UK and such. But you can see testimonials of people that really have believed that it's helped their business. I go into everything that I've done in the last 30 years of being in this business. Again, everything from my old school direct mailing pieces and the things that I use, all the way up through my digital marketing and my the website, my videos, how we produce them, where I got the ideas. And I'm talking about my more professional ones where I do use, cinematographers and hire extras and actors and things like that. I talk about my social media and what I do and don't post. A lot of the apps that I use to create, laying in my logo or
nice,
so on and so forth. But it's moving so rapidly that I know that I'm probably 6 months away from part 2. Just in the past few weeks, we've started doing these geo filters on Snapchat for all of our weddings, so that when the guests get there and they start doing these snaps and they swipe over to the left, that one of those first 4 or 5 geo filters, which you can now create and pay for your own, say, Bunn DJ Company in the house, Chris and Susie's wedding, 4/29/16. And people go nuts over that,
Cool.
And all it cost me was $5 and to be able to geographically pinpoint exactly where I'm going to be that night. So, little things like that didn't even make the DVD because I did it 2 months ago. But here they are, now we need to talk about it.
Yeah, so that's something how technology just goes crazy so quickly.
Yeah.
We could probably do a show on that almost every month, it seems.
Yeah, exactly.
And remember what we said last month? It's all gone now.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Forget everything I said.
Yeah, we'll start over again. Great stuff. The link, gang, is in the description below, so you can go down there and click on that and check out the DVD and things. Joe's got a great price on it for a training tool that's going to help you. I've heard people, I haven't had a chance to check it out yet, but I've talked to some people who have it, and they've been really, really impressed with it. And he the Southern accent doesn't come through too terribly bad, so he didn't have to translate.
People snap me all the time, and they're like, I'm watching this DVD, and my wife and I are rolling over your accent. And I'm like, I don't hear anything. I hear no accent.
It isn't. It isn't too. Now, if we go a little bit farther south and more west, then you've definitely.
Let me get my dad in here, the real Joe Bunn, the Joe Bunn Senior. He's a real redneck.
He's got the oh, great stuff. Joe, thank you very much for joining us tonight. For those of you watching, we are going to break, and we're going to shut this feed down, and we're going to be starting one more feed. We're going to do about another 10 minutes because they've got a couple of things MJ and I are going to talk to you guys about, and we'll be back. Again, you'll have to go to either Facebook or somewhere to find that second one because it's going to be starting new video chats. Joe, once again, thank you very much, and we will catch you later, my friend.
Thanks, John.
The PV Dark Matter Series power enclosures deliver best-in-class performance with custom settings for specific environments. The Dark Matter enclosures produce crystal clear, professional audio. PV Electronics, perfection in music and audio. Quality Kids Entertainment is sought after by parents and daycare centers everywhere. Bubble parties can easily be added to your existing services as a wonderful and unique event. Mention you saw this ad and get 10% off our special offer if you sign up before April 30th. So contact Bubble Parties today before this offer gets away. DJ Event Planner will change the way you manage and run your business. Streamline all of your procedures and software into one easy-to-manage system. DJ Event Planner, the ultimate online planning tool. The LD Systems Curve 500 is the world's first truly portable array system. With 2,400 watts of peak power and a 120-degree array, the Curve 500 is the ideal solution for DJs who care about their sound and presentation. Learn how to make money while you sleep with automated email marketing for your event or business. Get access to the training for free by going to profit911.biz/DJN. Profit 911. More customers, more cash, less stress.